Leonardo, the original human Swiss Army knife. You've met the know-it-all. Now it's time to meet the do-it-all. Leonardo da Vinci wasn't just an artist. He was basically the MacGyver of the Renaissance. Painter? Sure. Sculptor? Without a doubt. Engineer? Absolutely. Anatomist? You bet. Inventor? Oh, big time. And he did all of this before caffeine or Wi-Fi existed. Not even sliced bread, can you believe it? He could sketch a flying machine, dissect a corpse, paint a portrait, and whatnot, all before breakfast. His notebooks are stuffed with ideas that were centuries ahead of their time. He literally imagined helicopters, tanks, armored vehicles, and even submarines. And no, he didn't just imagine them. He sketched them with exquisite detail, like a designer with a Renaissance version of CAD software. What we aren't fans of, though, is the fact that most of these inventions never left the page. Leonardo didn't have a Kickstarter, or a YouTube channel, or a GoFundMe, or even a middle manager asking for Gantt charts. So while the rest of the world was still figuring out how to make a spoon, he was busy dreaming up contraptions that make SpaceX look pedestrian. And somehow, he did all of this without ever looking stressed or posting motivational quotes about hustle on a scroll. Or, God forbid, Instagram stories with the caption, "Making moves in science." Shudder. 2. Anatomy nerd extraordinaire. Most people think Leonardo was only interested in pretty faces. Wrong! He was obsessed with what's inside. Literally. He dissected human bodies, sometimes without permission, and happily went ahead and sketched every muscle, vein, and organ he could find. You can't really call his anatomical drawings simply art, because they were more like legit science manuals centuries ahead of their time. This dude's special interest meant he documented everything from blood vessels and skeletons to the actual human heart, which was, by the way, detailed enough to rival a cardiology textbook. Modern medicine still references some of his findings. And that's not even the weirdest part. He sometimes drew them in reverse because he was left-handed and mirrored his sketches. Imagine opening a Renaissance notebook to see a perfectly labeled spine, upside down. Confusing, sure, but absolutely genius nevertheless. And all of this while people were still thinking the brain was basically a soggy sponge. Leonardo's obsession with the human body helped arrange the dawn of anatomy as we know it, and also made him the original Mad Doctor. Frankenstein, if you will. 3. The flying machine obsession. Our guy Da Vinci wanted to fly long before anyone even got off the ground. His notebooks are packed with designs for ornithopters, which are, in case you can't put two and two together, machines that flap like, you guessed it, birds. He studied birds, bats, and basically any creature that wasn't glued to the floor, and thought, we have a skill issue. He also designed a helicopter-like contraption with a giant screw-shaped rotor. No engines? No problem. All he needed was imagination, physics, and Renaissance duct tape. Except duct tape didn't exist, never mind. He never tested most of these, which is probably a good thing because humans with literal man-made wings stuck to their backs don't tend to survive. Just ask our boy Icarus, he could tell you a thing or two. Anyway, the fun part is yet to come. You see, Leonardo's flying machine sketches influenced aviation centuries later. In other words, while people were still terrified of gravity, he was busy blue-skying ideas that would eventually get us to Mars. He literally invented Dream Big before it was a motivational poster. Wait, does that deserve its own section? Forget it. 4. Tanks, cannons, and the Renaissance death trap. Leonardo wasn't just about beauty and, math and stuff. No, he had a serious side for destruction, as shocking as it sounds, if you temporarily forget about his anatomy research. He designed a tank before tanks were cool. It had a conical shape, cannons poking out, and tracks that would have made modern military engineers raise an eyebrow, quaking in their boots while worrying about their job security. He also sketched giant crossbows and multi-barrel cannons, basically Renaissance Swiss Army murder machines. Of course, he never actually built most of them because politics, funding, and, let's be honest, safety issues. Imagine trying to explain to your neighbor that yes, the guy next door is building a war machine in his backyard. Still, these designs show Leonardo's mind wasn't just paint Mona Lisa deep. It was also, let's redesign warfare while we're at it, deep. He found a spectacularly nerdy amalgamation of art, engineering, and destruction into one genius package. When the gods of old asked him to pick between beauty and widespread destruction, Da Vinci said, yes. 5. Underwater inventions. Leonardo da Vinci wasn't just interested in cosplaying birds. He was also totally up for going for a spin in Neptune's kingdom. We're talking about the sea, in case you haven't read Percy Jackson and the Heroes of Olympus. He designed scuba-like diving suits made of leather, and those things actually came with breathing tubes connected to floating air tanks. Yes, leather. And yes, it's probably the earliest prototype of the modern wetsuit. He also sketched submarines, underwater breathing apparatuses. Hey, it's almost like he foresaw some billionaires in the far future being a little too drawn to the deep, deep sea. He even made plans for sneaky Renaissance spy divers. He was trying really, really hard to manifest spies in tiny leather suits tiptoeing over the bottom of a Venetian canal. Whatever floats his submarine, we guess. Unfortunately, though, these designs were never built. Mostly because people in the 1500s weren't exactly eager to test waterproof leather suits in the deep end. They had more important things going on, like witnessing beheadings and talking with their crushes in flower language. Leonardo had the motto, if it exists, I want to swim through it. Or fly over it. Or blow it up. 6. Engineering and everyday gadgets. Not all of Leonardo's inventions were world-changing. Some were surprisingly mundane, but still genius. He designed self-propelling carts, sort of like Renaissance robots, and automated mechanical knights that could wave arms, sit up, and even move on stage. Never mind, that's literally a robot. An automaton? He also tinkered with bridges, water-lifting devices, gear-driven mills, the usual stuff our Zoom-class engineers probably will never be able to make. Some of these made life easier for ordinary people. Others, like the robot knight, were basically Renaissance-era cosplay material. The coolest thing is that his inventions mixed practicality with showmanship, like he was the original infomercial host with a sense of style. Leo here was thinking mechanical and slightly over-the-top everything. He could solve a problem or entertain royalty, all with a notebook, some sketches. He had a vision that could make the Industrial Revolution look like child's play. 7. Mirror writing and secret codes. Ever seen Leonardo's handwriting? It looks like someone tried to write with the world's smallest snake. And yes, he wrote mostly backwards. Boy, are we glad to tell you why, because normally this would have no logical explanation. Left-handed Leonardo used mirror writing, which some historians think was to protect his notes, while others just assume he liked confusing future archaeologists. Which we respect, considering they're confused enough as it is, calling people roommates left and right. This quirky habit made his notebooks a puzzle, like a Da Vinci special Sudoku. To read them, you either need a mirror or a lot of patience, and the content wasn't just doodles. It included anatomical diagrams, engineering sketches, whatnot. Ideas that would have made modern scientists drool. Basically, he combined art and science with cryptography before cryptography was cool, like hipsters from Tumblr liking Arctic monkeys before TikTok found them. Leo pretty much thought if he can't dazzle the world with flying machines, he'll at least make sure they can't read his shopping list without a mirror. 8. Leonardo's legacy. The ultimate multitasker. The craziest fact about Leonardo? He achieved all of this without social media, Google, or even basic calculators. He literally had to invent parts of the world in his head, then sketch them and hope someone else would understand them centuries later. He proved humans can multitask to absurd levels, leaving the rest of us to wonder if we can even manage laundry and emails at the same time. In short, Da Vinci wasn't just ahead of his time, he was ahead of even the people from 2020 with access to content from all over the world while being locked indoors 24/7. This guy had paper, some ink, a quill, and one hell of a brain. and he made it a point to rub it in everyone's face for centuries to come. And we love him for it.